Hi everybody, this is Jetta here with Moonflower Insights, and I am here to talk to you about the full moon in Cancer in December of 2020. Now the full moon is happening tomorrow, December 29th at 7:30 p.m. and that's Pacific time. Obviously it's different depending on where you are viewing from, where you are in the world, but that is when it is happening here. And something interesting with this full moon is that it is the second Cancer full moon of 2020. The first one was in January. And to me, this kind of has almost blue moon vibes to it. And it's obviously not a blue moon. I mean, a blue moon is when you have two full moons within a month. So this is totally different, but to me, it's almost kind of the same. And also to me, it really has this energy of completion with it. Think about January of 2020, how catalytic it was, the beginning of it with a Cancer full moon, and then having that Saturn-Pluto conjunction on, I think it was January 10th, that was really intense and catalyzed a lot of what we saw here during 2020. All the things that were broken down. I talk about that in my previous videos. I highly suggest looking at those. But to me, what this full moon is really about is getting in touch with your emotional body and the more feminine archetype that exists within you, whether you are a male or female. And that has to deal with emotions, nurturing, mothering, creating even. Now, the full moon is in Cancer. It's opposite the sun, which is in Capricorn. That's always how full moons are. They are always opposite the suns. New moons are always in the same sign as the sun. And full moons have this power of release to them. They're really good opportunities to let go of things that no longer serve you. And the moon's home sign is in Cancer. The moon likes being in Cancer. So this gives us a huge opportunity for emotional release. Now, I don't know how you're feeling, but to me, astrologically and how I'm feeling, and when I kind of tap into the collective energies, a lot of us are kind of in this null right now. I made a video last week, or maybe just a couple days ago. What is time anymore? But I gave an energy update. I think it was just a couple days ago that I did it. I think it was on Christmas. I gave an energy update on how there were a lot of frustrated energies going about, and they had been going about for the previous days leading up to when I made the video. And those frustrated energies will continue largely into January as Mars makes continuous aspects with different planets. It's a lot of push and pull, pressure cooker energy, a lot of self-assertion and aggressive energies coming up. But we do have these periods of release and humility and getting humbled with that, with those aspects with Mars. But right now we are this kind of null, kind of like a grassy null. It's how I'm imagining things. Everything is quite dreamlike at the moment. I know where I am right now, we've been experiencing some winter weather. I think a lot of the country is. I'm really loving it. Actually, I don't want the sun to come out anytime soon, but it will because it's California. Winter isn't really a thing here in the Sierra Nevada as much as it used to be, at least on the Western Sierra. But when we experience these times of stillness or nulls, when time almost seems to stand still, especially after going through something as intense as the Mars aspects that we went through last week, it can really generate emotional uprisings, is a way to speak it. And emotional uprisings of kind of a lower energy, things that aren't quite as pleasant, like sadness, depression, feelings of apathy, existentialism even. And what these are, they're really invitations, even though they're unpleasant, and they're invitations to understand those emotions about you and what is creating them, what created them years ago, maybe when you were a child. And that's what's really, really highlighted with this Cancer full moon. Now, something important with this Cancer moon also is it is making an aspect with Chiron, and Chiron is known as the wounded healer. I look up where Chiron is in your chart. It talks about core wounds and different struggles that you might battle throughout your life. My Chiron is in Virgo, so mine is pretty much like injuries and I'm never on time, and it goes deeper than that. But we're forming aspects with Chiron right now with this moon, and it is giving us tremendous healing energy to it. astrology is really important because these aspects are going to be happening to us, but once we learn about them and bring them into our conscious mind, that is when we can really use that energy to benefit us to being better people and understanding ourselves a little bit better. I'm hesitant with saying better people because really it's important to accept ourselves how we are now, but it is also important to strive to work towards something, right? So with these emotions coming up, and I say coming up because they're rising. It's not like they're coming out of nowhere. They're not jumping out like the boogeyman. They're there and they've always been there. And I really welcome everybody to take an impartial look at these emotions when they're coming up and ask yourself where they're coming from. Ask yourself also if they are yours. And this is important, especially if you have water signs as your sun or moon signs. Ask yourself, are these emotions yours or are they someone else's? And that might sound silly, but as empathic people, like water signs, especially watery moons, my sun's in Scorpio and I have like 4 planets in Scorpio. So this has been a theme for me lately is, are these emotions mine or are they something that I'm taking on from somebody else because I'm empathic or maybe because it's easier for me to take on other people's emotions than take on my own? I don't know. We can make another video about that if you want to get into some weird psychology and thoughts that I've been having. But ask yourself, are these emotions yours? And then perhaps create an intention to release them. Now, going back to dealing with these emotions, if they are yours and not somebody else's, a lot of emotions that are coming up could have to deal with the home. They could have to deal with your mother as well. The archetype of Cancer is all about the home, nurturing, mothering, your actual physical mom, or maybe whoever played the role of the mother in your life. So I really recommend going back and doing anything that'll get you in touch with your inner child, who you used to be when you were younger, and compare that to who you are now. And ask your previous self if you are meeting your needs now, is what I would really recommend through this full moon. And then asking yourself how you can better meet those needs. Now, another aspect that's happening with this full moon is an aspect with Lilith. And with this aspect here, this can also bring up the opportunity to do a lot of shadow work. So that means getting in touch with the side of ourselves that we don't really like, that we hide from ourselves. Parts of us that we reject, and oftentimes it takes a lot of practice to even see this part of ourselves because we hide it away. We hide it away even from ourselves. It can be that dark. But this full moon is really welcoming us to embody that shadow aspect as a part of ourselves. As a part of ourselves. When I do shadow work, I really like to sit down and write. I think that's the best way to deal with it. And then also just to practice breathing really deeply. This full moon, like I said, it's kind of like a circle story from the full moon in Cancer in January. It's really giving us a great opportunity happening at the end of the month to really close out the chapters that we have been dealing with this year. Close them out, close them out, close them out, put them behind, but still embrace that which is coming up that would also like to be cleared. So there's the things that you've already cleared that you might be kind of like holding on to them a bit. Maybe you have them in the corner of your house. Nope, put them out. And then whatever's coming up right now, it might be some baggage that's right next to you. Nope, throw it out. Throw it all out. But do so with compassion. Shut the door lightly. Don't slam the door. Anyways, I am going to draw a card for the Cancer full moon. Let's see what we have coming up here. All right, do our guides have any advice for our Cancer full moon? Do our guides have any advice for Cancer full moon, December 2020? Any messages for Cancer full moon, December 2020? Beautiful. So I drew the Chariot, and to me, the Chariot is all about control, but I don't think like a gripping control. I think like a mastery almost. And it is about perfect balance of light and dark, understanding that light and dark work together in tandem. They complement each other in a lot of ways. One would not exist without the other. And that's the same for aspects of ourselves. Emotions that might be coming up as well, because there are moons in this card, there are stars. It's telling me that it is important for you to understand how your more lower vibrational energies and emotions interact with your higher ones, and how they can really come together in beautiful creative bursts for you and can create a lot of drive, a lot of ambition. It's important to form a sense of gratitude over these lower vibrational energies and emotions that you might be experiencing or that might come up during this time. And then from there, it gets easier to direct that energy into healthier habits, healthier hobbies, things that serve you better. Emotions that refuse to be felt, they really live in our bodies in interesting ways. And I say this because I'm a bodywork practitioner also. I do Thai massage. I do energy work. I used to do sports massage and whatnot when I lived abroad. Those emotions are going to demand to be felt. And if we refuse to do it, they will steer us a lot from our subconscious. They will control us a lot from behind the veil. So as we embrace these harder to embrace parts of us, as we allow these things to come up, as we break the dam down, so to speak, as we find comfort and discomfort and allow things to flow, that is really when we can begin to embody more of who we want to be in a more pleasant and whole version of ourselves. So I really invite you with this full moon to sit with that, however that might resonate to you. Let me think if I have any other messages that are coming in that I would like to deliver. This energy is also going to be present a lot in the next month. It's going to be interesting with so many of the Mars energies happening that are going to continue to drive us, then humble us. Again, back forth, push, pull, but we are going to have these periods of stillness between the intensity when we're welcome to come back into this space, into this, okay, what can I do to heal, into this feeling of the physical body, the emotional body, and whatnot. Once more, remember, feelings of the home might come up. Old heartbreaks could come up. Needs we might have expected to have met might come up as well. And going back to the childhood, when we think of childhood sadness, as that is a theme of this full moon, sadness around our mothers, sadness around our fathers, but perhaps more so around our mothers with the moon being in Cancer. It could be either, though. Really depends on your chart and your own personal experience. But as these things come up, it's really important also to take note of how you've perpetuated these emotions throughout your life. We are constantly affirming ourselves. We are constantly affirming what we learned about life from a young age. And we do so once more subconsciously, and once more because that's it's in the manual that we wrote about life while we were growing up. And so take note of how those things, how the disappointment that you might have had in your childhood, how those things have been perpetuated throughout your life, and take ownership of it and tell yourself that you're going to create something new. Allow yourself to create something new. Anyways, maybe tomorrow I will post a moon ceremony for everybody that they can do for the Cancer moon. Maybe I'll just post one that you could do for every moon. I don't know. We'll see what creative bursts I have amongst my own grassy knoll of tiredness and a kind of catharsis that I'm dealing with at the moment after everything that's happened. Yeah. Anyways, so down below, I do welcome you to like, share, subscribe, comment on this video. It would really help me out a lot. It would help me share these videos with more people, get the word out there. Also, I do have links in my description for my email and my Instagram. I do private readings. I do private astrological readings, tarot readings, channeled messages. If you're local, I do body work and energy work as well. I also have links for my PayPal and Venmo if you'd like to make a donation to my art and my craft. Anyways, thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye.